what is happening YouTube? I hope you're well. Today I'm going to take you through a day in the life of an online coach, personal trainer who's bulking in preparation for his first bodybuilding show. Got a lot planned today, so it's going to be quite an interesting one, but typically my morning starts off exactly the same every single day when I'm working in the gym or I'm working from home. Weigh myself every morning and make my breakfast I have every single day. Bagels, 2 eggs and ketchup. Now, if you have crumpets for breakfast, you need to sort yourself out because they're so not versatile whatsoever. You can't really do much with it other than add butter and jam to it. So get on the bagel hype. If you want the best bagels, if they sell them, Aldi do brioche bagels, which are incredible, like top tier. Settling for second best would be a sesame seed bagel. So today's plan of action is to go for a team photo shoot as we're running an open day at the gym that I work for, Lemon Frog Fitness in Plymouth on the 18th of January. So come on down if you fancy checking us out. And then I'm gonna go do some thrift shopping as I'm massively into my vintage clothing, aka Nike mostly. So I'll take you through that and see if you can find any bargains in Plymouth, which is a rarity, honestly. I haven't really been into any charity shops in Plymouth where they actually have some decent stuff for once. So hopefully today is a good day. And then I'm also on a training day today, so I'm going to be taking you through my quad day, which is probably the hardest session of the week. It's leg extensions, hack squats and leg press all in a row, but got to get it done if you want to be competitive on the stage. It is freaking cold today. Makes me want to move to Australia as quick as possible because I'm as pasty as an albino. And one of my constant goals is obviously to develop my business to help get better results with my clients and help with my move to obviously the outbacks of Australia. I don't actually know much about the place. I just like the idea of being, in the sun constantly and being able to learn to surf in Australia, because how cool would that be, right? Rather than, cold, dismal Cornwall. It'd be pretty sick to be able to learn to surf there. So me and my girlfriend are currently saving up to go there for a 6-week trip in sort of 3 years' time. And then after that, we're then planning on doing a move there if we'd like to get a place, obviously, because we've never been there before. Drop in the comments below where you'd recommend to go in Australia if you've been there before, or if you're currently living there. Drop a comment, let me know what it's like, because I'm all ears, and it's, it gets me excited to kind of potentially go there in the future. Now, while I'm walking to work to get picked up by my colleagues for the team photo shoot later on, I'm having my intra workout now rather than during my workout session later. The reason for that is because I've got a big ass gap now between my first meal that I've just had and my second meal. So to bridge that gap and to get some form of protein feeding in, I'm having it now. So I've got 1 scoop of EAAs, which is about 10 grams of protein. Got 1 scoop of carb powder in there for a bit of LC energy and hydration as well. And I've got 1 scoop of creatine. Now, when it comes to creatine, literally you can take it at any point of the day. 5 grams is all you need. You don't need to load it like most people do because A, it's not necessary because our body naturally gets it through foods if you eat meats and stuff like that. But also it's fucking expensive. Like, be able to load it every single day, you're just going to go through a tub of creatine like nothing. And knowing how small the tubs of creatine are nowadays, you're going to, almost be buying 2-3 tubs a month if you're just loading it. So just 5 grams every day, that's literally all you need. And here is the mecca of gains for our clients. Absolute fantastic little facility. So we've got lat pull downs, we've got squat racks. We don't hate cardio here, but we've got 1 rowing machine, shoulder presses, lots of different equipment for a small little space. But yeah, it's a gym that's very much service driven. So we really pride ourselves on our service at Lemon Frog. So if you want a good service, a good coach to get class results, either online or in person, just drop me a DM on my Instagram, which I'll leave my handle in the caption. And yeah, you can get in touch. And now it's time to get in my colleague's absolute fucking swag wagon. That's the team photo shoot done in front of the Plymouth Lighthouse, the most famous part of Plymouth, in my opinion. But also the best bit about it is the sea view in front of me, which is pretty incredible. Busiest spot in Plymouth, especially in the summer with the Lido and things like that. Only problem is it's still bloody cold. Like I mentioned earlier, Plymouth is pretty shit for any vintage shopping. There is 2 decent vintage shops in Plymouth, which are very, very good. But in terms of like getting the cheap bargains, it's pretty dire. Did find 2 things: Tottenham Hotspur denim jacket, I guess, but I didn't buy it because no one likes Tottenham Hotspur. And the second one was obviously the Jordan sweater, which I probably would have bought to sell, but I wouldn't have made much profit on it, so I didn't bother. But I did pick up a can of C4 Millions apple flavour. I haven't tried this one before. Like, if I'm not mistaken, like when I was younger, I'm pretty sure Millions didn't do an apple. They only did like the blue and red, like the blueberry flavour and the strawberry flavour. That's all I remember. But yeah, I'll let you know on what the taste like. It definitely tastes like a sour apple. Nothing like a Millions like sweet, for example. However, the blue C4 and the strawberry one are actually pretty sick, but it's still not a monster. Top monster flavours for me is the original green monster, but zero sugar. Most people say it tastes like petrol. I like the smell of petrol and the taste of it according to that. And then it will be like blue absolute zero monster would be second. And then third would be the white ultra, which is most people's favorites. And then right at the bottom, I'd say would be like the gold pineapple flavor. Doesn't do anything for me. But yeah, so heading home to have my pre-workout meal, which will be cream of rice. I'll get a clip of that for you. Now, if you want to make the best cream of rice, the trick is to make it the evening before, because it goes hard like a cake rather than like really hot gooey cream of rice. Because I find that for me, like if I have it when it's hot, it burns my mouth like that. So when you make it cold, you can then add in your like protein paste, dark chocolate and berries, which is what I'm going to do. Apart from the berries, don't have any left. And I'll show you how to make protein paste and things like that once I grab it out of the cupboard. So if you want to make the best protein paste for your cream of rice, oats, whatever, make sure you're first of all using the best protein powder. At the moment, I've got the Form Whey, which is, I don't change from that brand, and it's not because I'm sponsored by them or anything. I'm obviously not, but I just find it like mixes really, really well. Not too keen on the key lime pie flavor, but I'm using it up until I get another one. But yeah, when it comes to your protein paste, you just need a bowl full of protein powder and literally the smallest drips of water, and keep stirring it until it goes to a paste texture. So the texture we're looking for is literally like this. And all you then do is you literally just scrape it onto the top of your cream of rice, and you've got a freaking solid pre-workout meal there, which is going to fuel you excellently for quads, if you actually train quads, that is, because I know what you're like. You skip legs. Now, I know what you're going to say. It looks like shit with Shrek semen on, but honestly, it tastes insane. If you get the rich chocolate brownie flavor, and maybe not the key lime pie protein powder, but if you get like a rich chocolate brownie, the double chocolate brownie, the Perform Whey with the cream of rice and dark chocolate, it'd be miles better. But yeah, just a shame. It just looks a bit gross, but tastes good. Now, before I get into any heavy hack squats, leg presses, or leg extensions, I like to warm up with two exercises. The first one being this one, the cable hip flexion. Now, with this exercise in particular, what I'm trying to do is keep my knee bent at around 90 degrees. If I think about excessively bending from my knee, it's like if you had your feet lower on a hack squat. You're using more knee flexion and less of your hips. So keep your knee at 90 to really make sure you're maximizing the usage out of your hip flexors to get them nice and warm before you do your squats. The second activational exercise is an incline ab mat crunch. The mat is there to place my spine in extension, which lengthens my abs and helps me to get more muscle growth. If you struggle with getting enough extension out of your spine, or this using a mat hurts your spine, using a simple roll mat would be enough to create the same thing. Now, moving into the main bulk of the session, starting off with calf raises. Now, a common mistake I used to make with calf raises, even though my calves are still as small as a midget's, is when I get to the top of the movement, I'll roll my feet out. So I'll be pressing through all 5 of my toes. Whereas if you think about pressing forwards, you'll get a lot more of a bigger contraction out of your calves. Follow up with a heavy 3 sets of leg extensions, 8 to 12 on these. Now, with the leg extension, I'm using the band to help lock myself in. This machine in itself, the handle's positioned quite level with the seat, so it can be hard to kind of pull yourself down. So using a band just helps me to get a little bit more locked in. With also this exercise, I'm really trying to not waste that top of that range. So spending a good second or so at the top of the exercise to really maximize that short range of the quadricep. After walking like John Wayne from those leg extensions, I'll then go into the hack squat. Now, I used to do 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps on this, but I was finding that my recovery from this session in particular was really hard, because I've got another 2 sets of leg press afterwards, and it was just too much for my body to recover from. So decided to go for 2 sets instead, and I'm recovering a lot better now. With the feet positioning, I'm positioning it very, very low. So I've changed the face plate to the lowest position it can go. This is going to allow me to get a little bit more quad activation, as it allows me to get more knee flexion. If you have your feet really high on the hack squat, you're just going to end up limiting your range, but also getting a little bit more out of your glutes than you will your quads. I'll then finish off with a low and wide leg press stance. Now, when I used to do leg press before, I used to always just go for a standard low placement of my feet with a narrow stance to get more quads. But to get a little bit more indirect adductor volume, I'm going for a little bit wider stance. So I'm targeting a little bit more the inner of my thigh, just to bring that volume up across my training split. For my post-workout, I'm going to show you how to make a high-protein cereal, because something that I used to do when I was bulking before was having like high-protein cereal, but just from cornflakes. And what I found was that I was having a bit of stomach pain and kickback from having too much corn. So with your protein cereal, I'd often go for something like a rice-based product, like Rice Krispies, Cocoa Pops, that sort of thing, Rice Krispies Squares, even oats to a certain extent. You basically just need something that's high in carbohydrates, that's going to help you replenish your broken down, you basically just need something that's high in carbohydrates, going to replenish your lost glycogen stores or your broken down glycogen stores in your previous session. So for today, I'm having 160 grams of Cocoa Pops with 450 mils of almond milk and 30 grams of whey. Meal 5, meatballs and pasta. Now, do you call it tea or do you call it dinner? Because sometimes I call it both. Yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm going to unwind this evening with editing today's video and probably start watching the behind the scenes of Gavin and Stacey, which if you haven't watched, I've heard very good things about it, as the Christmas episode was spot on. So yeah, make sure you watch that and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed today's video, and let me know what you'd like to see in the future, as I'm going to be filming one video every single week on a different thing. 4 days of eating, my training, day in a life, just documenting my own journey.